I have with me the Managing Director of Mahindra & Mahindra, Dr. Pawan Goenka. Dr. Goenka, welcome to CNBC-TV18. The government of India is emphasizing on the development of the electric vehicle market in India. But the targets that have been set out by the government, do they look realistic to you?
Well, it's a starting point. We have to start somewhere. Most people, I would agree, would think that to say that by 2030 or 2032, we'll have all electric vehicle right now is too far to think.
Right.
Because we are selling less than 100 a month in the country. Once we get started, I think the pickup of electric vehicles will be very rapid. The reason it will be very rapid is that there is a very strong case for why the country should move to electric vehicles, why consumers should move to electric vehicles, why fleet operators should move to electric vehicles. And I do believe that once the prices come down a little bit, once the charging infrastructure is in place, once the consumer gets out of the anxiety of using electric vehicles, because still it's very new, it's going to pick up fast. I will not think of a date by which we might have 100% or even whether we will have 100%. But it's a good aspiration to have, and even if we achieve 10, 15, 20%, that's a fairly big contribution that will make to cleaning up the environment and reducing the crude oil import that we have in India.
Well, as far as the public transportation system is concerned, several state governments are looking to procure the electric vehicles. There is an e-bus consortium that has been set up between the three companies. What is the future? Do you think that joint research and development will actually be possible? It was not something that was done very successfully with consumer vehicles.
Well, we're taking a very different approach in India. What we're saying is that the reason electric vehicles appear so expensive is because of cost of the battery.
Right.
Now, is it possible that battery is separated from the electric vehicle when it comes to commercial vehicles like three-wheelers or buses? And battery becomes like you fill fuel. So you take out the used battery or spent battery and put in a charged battery at a cost less than what you will put in for diesel or petrol in your tank.
All right.
And with that model working, I think suddenly, for commercial vehicle application, electric vehicles will become very affordable and justifiable. Because let's face it, in commercial vehicle, unless the cost per kilometer remains same or becomes lower, for an operator it's going to be very difficult to justify.
Right.
And government cannot subsidize for a long time.
So that's why partnership makes sense in this domain.
That's why partnership makes sense. So if we can all agree on a common technology, if we can all agree on a common sort of way to put controllers or put sort of connectors so that battery can be easily taken out into a pool and get charged and new battery put in, then I think we'll have much faster growth. And there are only 3 or 4 companies in buses that have an interest in electric buses right now, and they're going to work together and to see how we can collaborate, still compete obviously, but collaborate to make electric vehicles a reality.
What about hybrid vehicles? Do you think it's the end of the road for hybrid vehicles now, especially with the GST and the subsidy going away?
Well, that question gets asked often of this, and a lot of interest in it. I think in India, or anywhere for that matter, we cannot ignore any sort of leading technology. So just because in GST there is no benefit given for hybrid, that doesn't mean that we can put hybrid in a closet and say no more hybrid.
Right.
We have to continue to work on hybrid because it's a technology that's very well developed, a lot more developed right now than electric vehicle technology in terms of being affordable, in terms of not requiring an infrastructure. And therefore, Mahindra is a company, and I'm sure that other.
But I guess you would have to prioritize your investments, right? You cannot.
Yes.
If there is a sinking ship, you know that the ship is sinking.
Sinking ship. It's flavor of the day. Mm-hmm. Flavor of the day. Tomorrow, something else might happen where a hybrid will be again in fashion, because I don't think hybrid technology can be ignored. And Government of India perhaps will rethink after some time on how do they also prioritize between electric and hybrid. Right now, clearly, the priority is given to electric vehicle, which also is the priority that Mahindra has.
Right.
We have been saying for a long time, even before GST change, that we will be prioritizing electric vehicle, and now more so post GST. A priority does become electric vehicle, but that doesn't mean that we stop working on hybrid.
Right. Tesla is planning to enter India. It is seeking some benefits and exemptions from the government of India. If that were to happen, would you see Tesla as a competitor, or you would like to collaborate with the company?
Well, we are approaching electric vehicles in 2 different directions. The direction that Mahindra has is right now to make electric vehicles right for mass uses. Okay. That means for fleet operations, that means for taxi aggregators, and also for commuting, and not really looking at electric vehicle as a high-end performance vehicle right now.
Right now.
Okay, and therefore Tesla and Mahindra have
different markets,
different market segment that we're looking at. Having said that, Tesla is coming into lower cost vehicles. We are going into higher cost electric vehicles. Somewhere there will be a meeting point. Whether we collaborate or compete, we will see how it works out. Right now, we have all our options open.
Well, recent judicial pronouncements have created a lot of stress on the industry. You've spoken out very openly. You weren't particularly in favor of it, but then you also said that because it is a verdict of the court, you are going to comply with it. How is the road looking ahead? Do you think that by now the industry is sort of stabilized, come to terms with the realities?
Well, I think it's no choice option for us because we have to comply, and we are complying. We still have BS3 vehicles that are waiting for conversion. It's not an easy job to take.
Now we're moving to BS6, so how do you...
No, but see, look, that's the problem. The problem is that we have to be given appropriate time, clear regulation. And we cannot have a situation where 2 days before deadline, suddenly we have to change everything. Obviously, Honorable Supreme Court has given the verdict. We are doing it. But it's a fairly big task for us to bring 12,000 vehicles from all over India back to a plant, convert them and send them back all over.
So what happens now? What's the plan?
We are working on it slowly, one by one. I mean, it's each one vehicle at a time. So far, we have converted maybe 2,000, 3,000 vehicles. We still have 10,000 more to convert.
So besides the inventory pressures, because I guess it will take time to convert these vehicles, you're also losing market, even in sectors where you were predominantly the key player, like utility vehicles. So what are you actually doing to ensure that you control the market share?
Well, and like anybody will do, we are obviously focusing on our current products to make them more attractive to the customers. We have our what we call power brands, that is Bolero, the Scorpio, and the XUV500 doing very well. We have the emerging products into UV300 and KUV100, which are beginning to pick up in volume. And we have new product launches that will be coming up in U321 and S201. First one being launched during this financial year, the second one next financial year. And we hope that these products will be successful.